Ever wondered which Hollywood icons share more than just fame? Let's embark on a whirlwind tour of 25 sets of real-life brothers whose talents have shaped the film and TV landscape. Buckle up for surprising origin stories, blockbuster careers, and sibling dynamics that have made these duos and trios truly unforgettable. 1. Aaron and Shawn Ashmore, Canadian identical twins. Aaron and Shawn Ashmore prove that sibling synergy can fuel two distinct yet intertwined careers. Born on October 7, 1979, they grew up in a modest household. Mom was a homemaker, Dad worked as a manufacturing engineer, far removed from Hollywood glamour. Early on, they found a shared passion for acting, but quickly realized they'd have to embrace each other's similarities and differences if they wanted to stand out. Aaron built a name through recurring TV roles, such as Jimmy Olsen in Smallville, where his earnest charm resonated with fans of the DC Universe. He then ventured into sci-fi territory as Steve Jinx in Warehouse 13, and later as the quick-witted Johnny Jacobys in Killjoys. Shawn, meanwhile, took a leap into big-screen blockbusters, showing off a cooler edge as Bobby Drake E. Iceman in the X-Men franchise. Whether sliding along ice ramps or navigating complex emotional arcs, he balanced youthful intensity with a grounded presence. A fascinating note is their matching GMA tattoos, short for Goodman Ashmore, inspired by their grandfather's own ink. It's a subtle reminder that while their careers may diverge, a shared lineage and supportive bond anchor them. Twins who embrace both unity and individuality, Aaron and Shawn continue blazing separate trails in the industry, proving good genes and a touch of rivalry can lead to dual success stories. 2. Alec, Daniel, Stephen, and William Baldwin. The Baldwin brothers have remained a Hollywood mainstay since Alec first burst onto the scene. Coming from a New York family of 6 children, Alec, born in 1958, Daniel, 1960, William, 1963, and Stephen, 1966, each discovered acting in their own time. They weren't bred into showbiz. Mom was a homemaker. Dad taught history. But the siblings soon found that their dynamic personalities suited the stage and screen perfectly. Alec paved the way in the early 1980s, landing soap opera roles before expanding into comedic and dramatic films. Over time, he tallied up an impressive list of accolades, including Emmys and Golden Globes, for projects ranging from 30 Rock to The Cooler. Inspired by his success, Daniel took a leap into acting, memorably starring as Detective Beau Felton in Homicide: Life on the Street. Stephen, known for his offbeat humor, grabbed attention in Born on the 4th of July and The Usual Suspects, while also dabbling in reality television. William, originally a Calvin Klein model, made waves in Backdraft, Sliver, and more, showing a brooding edge. Over the decades, the Baldwins have garnered headlines for everything from comedic bits on Saturday Night Live to cameo crossovers in each other's work. Despite personal ups and downs, they exhibit a familial camaraderie that underscores their bond. Different as they may be in temperament and style, these 4 prove that raw talent, plus a dash of sibling rivalry, can keep a family name shining under Tinseltown lights. 3. Alexander, Bill, and Gustaf Skarsgård. Few families can match the Skarsgårds for combined on-screen intensity. Born to esteemed Swedish actor Stellan Skarsgård, Alexander, Bill, and Gustaf each carry a potent mix of brooding charm and artistic depth. Raised in Stockholm, they were introduced early to the craft. A father who starred in Lars von Trier films, and a home brimming with creativity. Alexander, perhaps the most internationally recognized, broke out as the magnetic vampire Eric Northman in HBO's True Blood. He harnessed that star power for Big Little Lies, winning awards and acclaim for portraying a complex, dangerous spouse. Gustaf carved a path that balanced Swedish cinema and Hollywood, featuring in films like Evil and joining the cast of HBO's Westworld, where his thoughtful intensity added dimension to the futuristic drama. Meanwhile, Bill seized the horror genre by storm as Pennywise the Dancing Clown in It, 2017, and its sequel, leaving audiences thoroughly unnerved by his unsettling grin. Despite branching into separate genres, from vampire dramas to unsettling horror, each brother projects an unmistakable Skarsgård aura, a penchant for emotionally charged characters, and the ability to command scenes with minimal dialogue. Their collective success underscores the power of an artistic upbringing, proving that a supportive family environment can birth multiple powerhouses on the global stage. Whether it's period pieces, chilling horrors, or edgy TV, the Skarsgårds never fail to captivate. 4. Angus, Kiefer, and Rossif Sutherland. The Sutherland name carries a certain gravitas in Hollywood, thanks in large part to Donald Sutherland's storied career. Yet Donald's legacy extends beyond his own accolades to the achievements of his sons, Kiefer, Angus, and Rossif. Kiefer is arguably the best known, having made an impact in classic 80s films like Stand By Me and The Lost Boys, then later reinventing himself for television as Jack Bauer in 24. His portrayal of the relentless counterterrorism agent earned him an Emmy, catapulting him to iconic status. Rossif, less known to mainstream audiences but equally talented, has shown versatility in TV hits like The Handmaid's Tale and the psychological thriller Possessor. Balancing intensity with a nuanced emotional range, he consistently proves he's more than just Kiefer's brother. Angus, the youngest, tested the waters mostly as a producer for films like 1917 and November Criminals, and had a cameo in the comedic sequel Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. What unites them is a willingness to step beyond their father's shadow and carve out distinct creative identities. Their mother, French-Canadian actress Francine Rissette, also contributed to their global perspective. With Kiefer's brand of edgy heroism, Rossif's subtle depth, and Angus's behind-the-camera savvy, the Sutherland siblings embody the multi-dimensional artistry that flows through their family line. 5. Beau and Jeff Bridges. Beau and Jeff Bridges grew up practically inside the entertainment world, thanks to their father Lloyd Bridges and mother Dorothy. Beau, born in 1941, made his debut as an infant in a 1951 film, while Jeff, born 8 years later, followed suit by tagging along on his dad's TV show sets. Their sibling bond was formed amid scripts and stage lights, setting the tone for a lifetime in showbiz. Beau carved out a robust career in both TV and film, tackling everything from comedic roles to heartfelt dramas. He has scored multiple Emmy and Golden Globe wins, showcasing a chameleon-like ability to slip into diverse parts. Jeff, on the other hand, became a bona fide star recognized for everything from the cult classic The Big Lebowski, where he immortalized the laid-back dude, to his Oscar-winning turn as a washed-up country singer in Crazy Heart. Though their filmographies diverge, they converge in certain projects. Collaborations like Hidden in America and Tucker, The Man and His Dream, highlight a tangible camaraderie that resonates on screen. Off camera, they remain close-knit, often joking that they've never truly escaped the childhood excitement of playing pretend for an audience. Their mutual respect, mingled with good-natured competition, underscores how a Hollywood upbringing can shape siblings into versatile, enduring performers who continue to reinvent themselves decade after decade. 6. Ben and Casey Affleck, raised in a blended Berkeley-Boston dynamic. Ben and Casey Affleck took two paths that occasionally intersect in surprising ways. Ben, born in 1972, first gained mainstream attention in Good Will Hunting, which he co-wrote with childhood friend Matt Damon. That script famously nabbed them an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay, launching Ben as both an actor and a budding filmmaker. Meanwhile, Casey, born in 1975, honed a more subtle acting style, stepping into roles that demanded nuanced emotional depth, like his Academy Award-nominated turn in The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Ben's broad filmography includes major box office hits such as Armageddon and Pearl Harbor, plus directorial successes like Gone Baby Gone, The Town, and the Oscar-winning Argo. Despite the commercial flash, he's also shown a willingness to tackle introspective parts, balancing star power with quieter character studies. Casey, for his part, is known for introspective intensity, an approach that culminated in an Oscar win for Manchester by the Sea, a haunting portrayal of grief and self-blame. In personal interviews, the brothers hint at a blend of brotherly camaraderie and professional respect. Though their collaborations are somewhat rare, Gone Baby Gone had Casey in the lead, while Ben directed, they underscore a shared storytelling passion. Far from overshadowing one another, they complement each other's styles, offering two angles on the creative process. Their synergy proves sibling collaborations can yield some of the industry's most authentic, hauntingly real cinematic experiences. 7. Ben and Fred Savage. The Savage name conjures up two nostalgic TV pillars, The Wonder Years and Boy Meets World. Fred, the older brother born in 1976, soared to fame as Kevin Arnold, the introspective every kid navigating life's milestones in a 1960s suburban setting. The role not only turned Fred into a preteen superstar, but also earned him Golden Globe and Emmy nominations, an almost unheard-of feat for such a young actor. Meanwhile, Ben, born in 1980, found his own spotlight as Corey Matthews on Boy Meets World, a 90s staple that followed a group of friends from middle school into early adulthood. Despite growing up in Glencoe, Illinois, both eventually relocated to California, immersing themselves in Hollywood's child actor scene. Fred's success led him to guest appearances in various sitcoms and movies, and he later pivoted into directing, helming episodes for Modern Family, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and more. Ben continued to capitalize on his Corey Matthews persona, even reprising it in the spin-off Girl Meets World decades later. Their once close bond reportedly cooled following a rumored college altercation involving Danielle Fishel. While neither has delved into the details publicly, the rumor underscores how a shared childhood in TV limelight doesn't guarantee lifelong harmony. Still, fans of The Wonder Years and Boy Meets World can't help but wish for a comeback brotherly collaboration, two comedic, family-friendly forces that shaped entire generations of viewers. 8. Bill, Brian Doyle, and Joel Murray. The Murray brothers could fill a comedy hall of fame on their own. Bill Murray, with his signature deadpan delivery, might be the most recognized, but Brian Doyle Murray and Joel Murray add crucial layers to this comedic dynasty. Raised in Wilmette, Illinois, they grew up in a household where humor was both a survival skill and a form of bonding. Mom worked as a mailroom clerk, Dad sold lumber, but laughter was constant. Brian Doyle, the oldest, broke ground on Saturday Night Live in the late 1970s, co-writing cult classics like Caddyshack. Meanwhile, Bill seamlessly blended comedic roles, Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day, with deeper, more dramatic turns, lost in translation, cultivating a career marked by spontaneity and memorable improvisations. Joel, the youngest, often took on more low-key but impactful roles, like Freddie Rumsen in Mad Men, adding a splash of comedic tension to a show lauded for its drama. Together, the trio occasionally reunites for quirky projects, such as golf-themed documentaries or cameo-laden comedies. Their synergy is evident, playful ribbing, comedic in-jokes, and a sense that they're never too far from making each other laugh on camera. Beyond the laughs, they exude a warmth rooted in their shared upbringing, showing that comedic genius can be shaped by sibling rivalries and loyal camaraderie in equal measure. 9. Blake and Dylan Tuomy-Wilhoit fans of the sitcom Full House fondly remember Nikki and Alex Katsopoulos, the mischievous twin sons of Uncle Jesse and Aunt Becky. Few realized, however, that Blake and Dylan Tuomy-Wilhoit, born on November 29, 1990, were the real-life twin actors behind those adorable scenes. Cast as infants, they practically grew up on set, forging early memories of bright lights and sitcom laughter. When Full House ended in 1995, the twins stepped away from acting. Blake pivoted toward an entirely different kind of public service, firefighting. Although he occasionally engages with fans on social media, he mostly keeps a low profile, dedicating his life to helping people in emergency situations. Dylan found a creative spark behind the scenes, becoming a Foley artist and sound designer for major film and TV productions like Game of Thrones. His expertise in capturing realistic audio effects even landed him an Emmy nomination, proof that child stardom can evolve into specialized industry success. The brothers gave Full House fans a moment of pure nostalgia when they reprised their roles in Netflix's Fuller House. While it was a brief cameo, audiences relished seeing them step back into the comedic world they'd inhabited as toddlers. With one brother saving lives and the other adding cinematic realism, Blake and Dylan showcase how sibling bonds can thrive in unexpected ways beyond the Hollywood spotlight. Chad and Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe's trajectory from teen idol to TV stalwart is well known, but his younger brother Chad quietly built his own resume. Rob, born in 1964, got his big break in the 1983 classic The Outsiders, cementing him as part of the 80s Brat Pack. Roles in St. Elmo's Fire and About Last Night followed, before he made a triumphant shift to television, capturing viewers as Sam Seaborn in The West Wing and snagging an Emmy nomination in the process. Chad, 4 years younger, made his debut in the 1984 TV film Silence of the Heart. He rose to prominence with the 90s drama series Life Goes On, playing Jesse McKenna, a character who tackled critical issues like HIV/AIDS. His portrayal earned him a Primetime Emmy, revealing a capacity for emotional gravitas that contrasted with Rob's charismatic flair. Beyond acting, Chad ventured into directing, taking the helm for episodes of shows like Pretty Little Liars and Supergirl. Despite forging individual paths, the brothers finally appeared on screen together in 2022, when Chad joined 911, Lone Star, as the estranged brother of Rob's character. Fans were thrilled to see their off-screen camaraderie come to life. Both carry a certain polish, Rob's polished comedic timing, Chad's quieter dramatic depths, highlighting how siblings can resonate in distinct ways while celebrating each other's wins. 11. Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. Martin Sheen fathered two iconic 80s rebels, Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. Born 3 years apart, Emilio in 1962, Charlie in 1965, both inherited their dad's drive to perform. They made their uncredited debuts in Martin's 1973 film, Badlands, although they wouldn't truly break out until adolescence. Emilio joined the Brat Pack with roles in The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire, balancing the rebellious vibe with flashes of vulnerability. He also ventured into directing, teaming with Charlie for Men at Work and later helming more personal projects like Bobby. Charlie, on the other hand, soared with war dramas, Platoon and Born on the 4th of July, proving comedic range in Hot Shots, before dominating TV as Charlie Harper in 2.5 Men. His sitcom success redefined the modern TV anti-hero, yet controversies off-screen threatened to overshadow his achievements. Emilio took a steadier route, focusing more on behind-the-scenes creativity, while occasionally fronting beloved franchises like the Mighty Ducks. They have collaborated repeatedly, from the Western Young Guns to the off-kilter comedy Men at Work. Their synergy reveals a shared comedic undertone, shaped by growing up in a performing arts family. While personal hurdles have occasionally overshadowed Charlie, and Emilio sometimes keeps a lower profile, their brotherly bond endures, a testament to Sheen Estevez's resilience and the enduring power of comedic bravado mixed with earnest storytelling. 12. Chris, Luke, and Liam Hemsworth. The Hemsworth trio, Chris, Luke, and Liam, rose from Australia's coastal living to global stardom, propelled by their handsome features and easygoing bravado. Luke, the eldest, born 1980, started on Aussie soap operas like Neighbours, establishing a foothold in local TV. Soon after, the younger brothers followed suit. Chris, born 1983, snagged a key part on Home and Away before Hollywood cast him as Thor, a role that changed his life and anchored the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Known for both comedic timing and raw action heroism, Chris quickly became a household name. Liam, born 1990, kicked off his career with minor TV parts but rocketed to fame as Gale Hawthorne in The Hunger Games. Post-dystopia, he branched into dramas like The Last Song and action flicks like Independence Day, Resurgence. The three occasionally joke about sibling rivalries, like who's in better shape or who landed the bigger franchise. Yet interviews revealed genuine support, with Luke praising Chris's near-impossible physical regimens, and Chris returning the favor by hyping Liam's heartfelt performances. Despite divergent paths, the Hemsworths converge around a shared Aussie humor and devotion to family. Luke has stepped into HBO's Westworld. Chris toggles between comedic cameos and high-octane blockbusters, and Liam balances franchise flicks with romantic leads. Each success story underscores the unstoppable momentum that arises when sibling competition meets unwavering brotherly support. 13. Chris and Sean Penn. Sean Penn's double Oscar wins for Mystic River and Milk highlight an actor unafraid of tackling gritty, flawed characters. His younger brother Chris, though less heralded, carved out a similarly intense path until his untimely death in 2006. Both sons of director Leo Penn and actress Eileen Ryan, they were immersed in the industry from childhood, with Shawn making cameo appearances in Little House on the Prairie. By his 20s, Shawn was playing iconic roles like the perpetually stoned surfer Jeff Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and then pivoted to heavier material with Dead Man Walking and Carlito's Way. Chris's filmography read like a tour through the seedy underbelly of America. Boasting a black belt in karate, he often portrayed characters on the darker side, from a vengeful dancer in Footloose to a hyped gangster in Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs. His physicality and willingness to sink into morally dubious roles won him the respect of cult film lovers. Although they rarely performed together, the Penn brothers shared an uncompromising dedication to raw storytelling. Where Shawn became a household name, Chris remained something of a hidden gem among serious cinema fans, revered for authenticity. His sudden passing left a gap in Hollywood's tough guy niche. Even so, the Penn legacy endures in each electrifying performance, a testament to two brothers shaped by artistry and unapologetic realism. 14. David, Ryan, Patrick, and Shawn Cassidy. The Cassidy clan reigned supreme in the 70s and 80s, bringing a medley of acting, singing, and producing talents under one family umbrella. David Cassidy, born from Jack Cassidy's earlier relationship, became a teen idol as Keith Partridge on The Partridge Family, fueling a worldwide fan phenomenon. Meanwhile, Shirley Jones, his stepmother, and Jack welcomed 3 more sons, Shawn, Patrick, and Ryan, each weaving themselves into the entertainment tapestry. Shawn burst onto the scene in the late 1970s, starring in the Hardy Boys Mysteries and riding a wave of pop music success with his Billboard chart topper, Da Do Ron Ron. As he matured, Shawn expanded into TV writing and producing, spearheading series like American Gothic and Invasion. Patrick found his calling on Broadway, showcasing a magnetic stage presence in musicals like 42nd Street and Annie Get Your Gun. He also popped up in TV shows like Smallville, merging theatrical flair with screen roles. Ryan stayed more behind the scenes, working on art departments for sitcoms such as The King of Queens. David's star soared highest initially, but each sibling capitalized on the family's showbiz instincts in their own ways. And though their lives occasionally intersected, like Patrick performing on stage with Shirley or Shawn producing scripts reminiscent of 70s-era spookiness, the Cassidy bond remains a testament to how varied talents can blossom within one storied household. 15. Clint and Ron Howard. Ron Howard, widely recognized for directing blockbusters like Apollo 13 and A Beautiful Mind, first appeared on TV as Little Opie Taylor in The Andy Griffith Show. His younger brother Clint, barely out of diapers, often joined him in cameos. Growing up in a family entrenched in showbiz, father Rance Howard was an actor-writer. Both boys became intimately familiar with set life. Ron's polished charm on Happy Days propelled him to mainstream popularity before he pivoted behind the camera to helm iconic hits. He's since won Academy Awards, and even a Grammy, reflecting an expansive creative scope. Clint, the scrappier sibling, specialized in memorable character roles, such as a pint-sized alien in Star Trek or comedic foils in Adam Sandler movies, like The Waterboy. Although never the leading man, Clint's cameo in nearly every Ron-directed film has become a sort of family tradition. From Cocoon to Solo, A Star Wars Story, eagle-eyed fans often spot Clint weaving humor into scenes where serious action abounds. Together, the brothers exude genuine camaraderie that underscores how nepotism can transform into an enduring artistic partnership. Their synergy is as simple as it is sweet. Ron behind the lens, Clint popping up with offbeat comedic relief, both relishing an industry they practically grew up in. This formula keeps the Howards close to the hearts of audiences who appreciate their decades-long devotion to quality storytelling. 16. Cole and Dylan Sprouse. Cole and Dylan Sprouse have been screen fixtures since infancy, starring in commercials and eventually transitioning to TV. Born in Arezzo, Italy in 1992, the twins relocated to the U.S. where they booked roles on sitcoms like Grace Under Fire. Their major breakthrough came in Big Daddy, playing Julian McGrath opposite Adam Sandler. Yet it was Disney's The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody that catapulted them into tween superstardom. Dylan embodying mischievous Zack, Cole as brainy Cody. Growing up in the public eye had its ups and downs. By the time The Sweet Life on Deck wrapped, the Sprouses opted to pause acting and attend New York University. Dylan tried his hand at opening a Brooklyn meadery, while Cole dived deeper into photography. Eventually, Cole reemerged as Jughead Jones in the CW's Riverdale, a moody role worlds apart from Disney's breezy humor. Dylan, meanwhile, tested the indie film circuit and comedic roles in flicks like Banana Split. They occasionally joke about reuniting on screen, though they remain careful to chart distinct paths. Still, fans love to speculate about a comedic cameo or a cameo-laden collaboration. For now, Cole's moody teen drama and Dylan's entrepreneurial ventures reflect how these twin brothers have grown beyond child stardom into self-possessed, multifaceted creators, forging fresh identities while maintaining an unbreakable twin bond. 17. Costas and Louis Mandylor. Australia delivered another set of scene-stealing siblings in Costas and Louis Mandylor. Born to Greek parents, they changed their surname from Theodosopoulos to honor their mother's maiden name. Costas arrived in 1965, Louis in 1966. Both dabbled in acting lessons stateside, aiming to break into Hollywood's galaxy of stars. Costas caught attention first. An early gig was 1989's Triumph of the Spirit, filmed at Auschwitz. Soon after, Oliver Stone cast him in The Doors, and he secured a lead in Mobsters as Frank Costello. Though he's tackled everything from period pieces to action thrillers, Costas may be best recognized as Detective Kenny Lakos in Picket Fences, a role that earned him Screen Actors Guild Award nominations. Louis, on the other hand, found comedic gold in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, portraying the affable Nick Portokalos. He also delighted audiences in cameo roles like Joey's twin on Friends. Despite forging separate comedic and dramatic paths, the Mandylor brothers converge around a love for telling culturally rich stories, often drawing on their Mediterranean roots. Fans of gritty horror know Costas as Detective Mark Hoffman in the Saw franchise, while family comedy buffs adore Louis's comedic warmth. Their broad filmographies underscore how sibling synergy can manifest in diverse genres, proving there's no single formula for success when you share an artistic drive and Greek-Australian heritage. 18. Dave and James Franco. California's Franco brothers blend art house flair with mainstream quirk. James the Elder, born 1978, skyrocketed after Freaks and Geeks and hammered down success as Harry Osborn in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. Known for method-level dedication, he earned an Oscar nomination for 1:27 Hours, capturing the desperation of a trapped mountaineer. Whether exploring comedic territory in Pineapple Express or stepping behind the camera to direct, James exudes a restless creativity. Dave, born in 1985, carved out his own comedic path, initially resisting James's Hollywood shadow. After small roles in TV, like Scrubs, Dave gained a cult following with big screen comedies such as 21 Jump Street and Now You See Me. He brings a sharp comedic timing and subtle emotional layers, convincing viewers he's more than just James's brother. Their most notable team-up is The Disaster Artist, where James directed and starred as eccentric filmmaker Tommy Wiseau, and Dave portrayed his friend Greg Sestero. That project earned James a Golden Globe, spotlighting their creative synergy. Still, they maintain distinctly separate approaches. James fearlessly leaps between soap opera cameos and academia, while Dave focuses on comedic or thriller roles. The Franco brothers collectively demonstrate that sibling collaborations can spark comedic brilliance, forging unexpected hits that straddle the line between indie cool and mainstream appeal. 19. David, Keith, and Robert Carradine. Part of a dynasty led by iconic character actor John Carradine, David, Keith, and Robert each added their unique stroke to the family's cinematic tapestry. David, born in 1936, etched his face into Western and martial arts history as Kwai Chain Kane in Kung Fu, mesmerizing viewers with a blend of Zen calm and lethal prowess. He later ventured into cult classics like Death Race 2000 and Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, where he played the enigmatic titular villain. Keith arrived in 1949, showing strong musical chops in Nashville, which bagged him an Oscar for Best Original Song. He balanced singing with acting roles in Southern Comfort and Dexter, harnessing a quiet gravitas. Robert, the youngest, born 1952, leaned comedic with Revenge of the Nerds, starring as the brainy but endearing Louis Skolnick, a performance that resonated with underdogs everywhere. The trio famously united for The Long Riders, a Western that cast real-life siblings as outlaw siblings. Fans relished the authenticity as each Carradine inhabited characters rooted in historical grit. In separate ventures, David veered spiritual, Keith toggled between pensive drama and comedic undertones, and Robert specialized in comedic misfits. They exemplify the creative breadth a single family can produce, proving that a shared lineage can sprout entirely distinct cinematic branches. 20. Andrew, Luke, and Owen Wilson, Texas, gave the world three comedic gems: Owen, Luke, and Andrew Wilson. Raised in Dallas, they grew up watching their father's work in advertising and their mother's photography pursuits, sparking an early appreciation for storytelling. Owen, the middle brother, claimed the spotlight first with his charmingly offbeat comedic style, co-writing Bottle Rocket with Wes Anderson. He cemented that partnership in the Royal Tenenbaums, the Darjeeling Limited, and other whimsical films, garnering an Oscar nod for Best Original Screenplay. Luke, the youngest, took a more understated path, nailing sweet yet quirky roles in Legally Blonde and Old School. Andrew, the eldest, often pops up in cameo roles or side characters in the same films, injecting a wry sense of humor that complements his brother's comedic rhythms. Far from overshadowed, Andrew leans into directorial and producing tasks behind the scenes, ensuring that each Wilson project retains a cohesive vibe. Meanwhile, Owen branched into mainstream hits like Wedding Crashers, seamlessly blending romantic comedy with buddy movie hilarity. Luke's range kept growing, from TV dramas to indie films that highlight his softer comedic touch. When the Wilsons collaborate, a unique brand of comedic warmth emerges. Witty, sometimes surreal, yet always grounded in sibling familiarity. Their synergy shows how three distinct comedic sensibilities can spin genuine magic, whether they're navigating eccentric scripts or ad-libbing comedic gold on the fly. 21. Joey, Matthew, and Andrew Lawrence. The Lawrence brothers, Joey, born 1976, Matthew, 1980, and Andrew, 1988, set 90s television alight with Brotherly Love, a sitcom that showcased their playful chemistry. Raised in Pennsylvania, they each launched acting careers in childhood. Joey, the eldest, had already gained popularity as the charming teen heartthrob on Blossom, known for his exclamation, "Whoa." He later ventured into music and anchored sitcoms like Melissa and Joey. Matthew, widely recognized from Boy Meets World, balanced comedic timing with sincere emotional beats. He also booked gigs in family-friendly fare like Mrs. Doubtfire, further cementing his boy-next-door persona. Andrew, the youngest, jumped in with early Disney Channel roles, including The Other Me, gradually evolving into adult cameos and directorial efforts. After Brotherly Love ended, each brother embraced separate callings. Joey pursued music and TV hosting, Matthew dabbled in both comedic and dramatic roles, and Andrew refined his behind-the-camera skills. Yet, nostalgia pulled them back into joint ventures, such as their cameo-filled film, Mistletoe Mix-Up, and the Brotherly Love podcast, where they offer a behind-the-scenes look into growing up in the limelight. Their synergy proves unstoppable, a testament to childhood stardom that grew into adult camaraderie, blending comedic banter with warm-hearted storytelling that resonates across generations. 22. Ethan and Joel Coen. Ethan and Joel Coen hardly need an introduction. Together, they've crafted a cinematic universe all their own. Born in Minnesota, Joel in 1954, Ethan in 1957, they grew up poring over genre films and reading pulp novels, nurturing an offbeat taste that would become their signature. Their first feature, Blood Simple, debuted in 1984, wowing critics with its tense atmosphere and clever plot twists. The Coens quickly followed up with Raising Arizona, a zany comedy that sealed their reputation for blending dark humor with surreal, memorable characters. They write, direct, and produce nearly all their films, also editing under the pseudonym Roderick Janes. This total control allows them to weave instantly recognizable elements, twisted morality, laconic dialogue, and comedic absurdities that erupt from everyday life. Fargo exemplified their brilliance, netting them an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay, while No Country for Old Men triumphed with 3 Oscars, including Best Picture. Yet the Coens aren't afraid to pivot, dabbling in musicals, Western anthologies, and even historical espionage by penning scripts for other directors like Steven Spielberg, Bridge of Spies. Their filmography, from The Big Lebowski to Inside Llewyn Davis, covers myriad genres, but retains a singular Coen essence. Audiences never quite know what to expect next, only that it will blend wit, tension, and a dash of the bizarre in a way only these brothers can deliver. 23. Chris and Scott Evans. Chris Evans may be best known for Captain America, but his younger brother Scott has carved out his own path in television drama. Growing up in Sudbury, Massachusetts, the brothers were influenced by their mother's passion for theater. She worked as an artistic director at a local youth theater. Chris, born in 1981, got an early taste of Hollywood with teen comedies like Not Another Teen Movie. Soon after, he tackled superhero fare as the Human Torch in Fantastic Four, foreshadowing his eventual career-defining portrayal of Steve Rogers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Scott, born in 1983, entered showbiz via soap operas, landing the role of Oliver Fish on One Life to Live, a storyline notable for exploring same-sex relationships in daytime TV. While not as globally recognized as Captain America, Scott thrived in steady television work, taking roles in shows like Grace and Frankie and White Collar. He maintains a dedicated fan base that appreciates his more understated approach. Despite swirling rumors of a future collaboration, the Evans brothers mostly champion each other's successes from different corners of the industry. Chris occasionally peppers interviews with references to Scott's comedic flair, while Scott publicly supports Chris's Marvel escapades. Their complementary energies, one a Hollywood A-lister, the other a TV-savvy actor, show that sibling success can flourish on divergent, equally respectable roots. 24. Jason and Robert Schwartzman, born into the Coppola dynasty, Jason, 1980, and Robert, 1982. Schwartzman had cinema coursing through their veins. Their mother, Talia Shire, is a lauded actress, and the extended family includes luminaries like Francis Ford Coppola and Sofia Coppola. Yet Jason and Robert charted distinct courses within that illustrious environment. Jason's acting debut in Wes Anderson's Rushmore marked him as a fresh comedic talent, a sharply witty teenager with a penchant for oddball roles. He quickly became a Wes Anderson mainstay, appearing in the Darjeeling Limited and the Grand Budapest Hotel. Outside those offbeat universes, Jason formed the indie music project Coconut Records, composing breezy pop tunes that sometimes slip into his film projects. Robert, more focused on music, built a reputation as the frontman of the rock band Rooney, riding an early 2000s wave of guitar-driven pop. He dabbled in acting with the Princess Diaries, but soon discovered a passion for directing, debuting with 2016's Dreamland, and following up with comedic dramas like The Unicorn. Their synergy shows in cameo crossovers and shared aesthetic sensibilities, whimsical, narrative-driven, and grounded in an old Hollywood meets modern indie vibe. Even as they keep their respective mediums, the Schwartzman brothers reflect how creative lineage can be shaped into uniquely personal art forms, forging cultural footprints beyond the Coppola name. 25. Lorenzo and Nicholas Brino viewers who adored Seventh Heaven recall Sam and David Camden, the youngest members of the fictional minister's family. In reality, those playful twins were brought to life by Lorenzo and Nicholas Brino, part of a set of quadruplets born in 1998. Because filming with very young children can be logistically tricky, the show rotated among all 4 quadruplets initially. By the time the twins aged into more defined roles, only Lorenzo and Nicholas continued as Sam and David, appearing consistently until the series concluded in 2007. When the show wrapped, the entire Brino quartet opted to retire from acting, preferring normalcy over Hollywood's often relentless scrutiny. Occasionally, one sibling would make small cameos in other projects. A cameo in What About Brian brought Zachary Brino briefly back on TV. However, they mostly settled away from the limelight, focusing on academics and personal interests. Tragically, Lorenzo passed away in a car accident on March 9, 2020, at just 21. The heartbreaking news resonated with fans who had watched him grow up on screen. Nicholas and the rest of the family maintained privacy, reflecting on those cherished years when 2 baby-faced brothers brought sweetness, comedic relief, and a dash of chaos to the Camden household. For longtime Seventh Heaven enthusiasts, Sam and David remain a nostalgic reminder of simpler family-centric storytelling. Which brother duo or trio is your all-time favorite? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at Hollywood's real-life siblings, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and share this video with fellow film buffs. Thanks for watching.